Good day everybody, how's it going? It's Jake here, and today I'm back with another commentary, and I want to talk to you guys about to slay or not to slay for combat. And this topic may have been covered by various other YouTubers, so I apologize if you've already heard this elsewhere, but this is my personal sort of takes on these things, and I'm looking for some feedback from you guys in this video, so that'd be great if you could just listen through and maybe post a comment afterwards. It would mean a lot to me, and you could really benefit each other basically if you have the same sort of plans as I do, which is to max out my combat. So with that said, there are plenty of pros and cons to slaying for your melee XP, and before I start and jump into these points for the pros and cons of Slayer, I just want to note to you guys that all these ideas are off the top of my head, so I generally may miss a few things, but I'm going to do my best for you guys, and hopefully it helps you out a little bit. So first of all, we're going to start off with the pros of Slayer. I'm going to try to explain each point pretty quickly, but kind of give you guys enough information to be able to benefit from it without dragging it on for 10 minutes. So with that said, let's jump into the first pro of slaying for your XP. So let's get right into this, okay? So the number one pro would probably be you make a lot of money in the long run, and you may not think this when you have a task of 12 wall beasts or whatever, but it can be very profitable in the long run. And if you want to train combat and make great money at the same time, then Slayer is probably the method for you. As of right now, it's kind of leaning towards me because my bank is only about 20 mil, 18 mil tops, and I could really do with some more bank in the long run. And whilst maxing combat is going to be my number one priority very soon, after I've done a few more quests, just a few minor ones, it sounds like the right thing to do for me personally, but that's just for my account. So this commentary is to help you guys out as well. So yeah, with that said, onto the second pro. Now, the pro I can think of next up is probably the fact that sometimes you forget you are training combat, and you can actually rank up and level up, quite a significant amount faster than you normally expect, because you just sitting waiting on them Slayer levels and counting down the monsters until you go get a new task, and you can forget the fact that you are actually getting pretty good melee XP. You may have some tasks where you have to range or mage or whatever, where you lower combat, but overall, generally, it's really good, sort of XP, and it kind of appeals to me that you tend to forget you are training combat. So that would be another pro. It's not as grinding. You kind of train combat, but you have something different to sort of wait on instead of just getting that XP. You sort of wait on getting a new task and stuff. So I guess that could be another good aspect of training Slayer for your combat. So on to my next positive point for Slayer. This may be very, very obvious to you guys, but you are actually training another skill as well as combat. If you're, the type of person who likes to gain their total levels up and, hopefully reach max one day, then why not do it sooner than later? Why not do it all at once instead of having to go back and just, get 15 mil XP in strength once you've already hit 99, and, the list sort of goes on from there. But, if your ultimate goal is to get all 99s, then why not just do it from the start? I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of you guys' goals in the very, very long term. I don't mean within the next few months, but it may be in the long term, and you have to think these things through before you actually start, just training the bandits or whatever. You have to sort of think, do I want to max out one day? Yeah, if so, why don't I just slay and get it out of the way, like start on that road, and, just try to get it completed as soon as possible. So on to my final point now for the positives of Slayer. This may be a hit or miss, so I don't want to promise anything, but it seems that Jagex are kind of going to be adding more things and updates and items into the old school game, which sort of helps Slayer. So a few days ago I posted a video where a Slayer helmet was confirmed, and I sort of questioned whether this could be the start of a lot of things. So yeah, it's one to consider. It's not necessarily a fact, but it's definitely one to consider. And with that said, let's move on to the cons of Slayer really quickly, as this point, it's sort of straight to the point and there's nothing really more to explain. You just have to consider these things. So yeah, let's move on to the negatives of Slayer. Alrighty, so the first point that comes to my head is the fact that Slayer is not very consistent at all. One task you could be gaining 12k Slayer XP per hour, another task you could be gaining 25k Slayer XP per hour. It really does vary, and the profit is sort of hit or miss as well, and that's kind of a risk you have to decide whether you want to take or not, because it's only you that can make the decision. And yeah, it's just not very consistent overall. It's not very transparent. You don't know what you're going to get next, and some people love and some people hate this sort of factor of Slayer, so I'll leave that one down for you guys to decide. Okay, and on to my next negative point for Slayer. So you need to be realistically, you need to be a decent combat and have a pretty strong bank behind you in order to slay efficiently. You know, you can't just start Slayer at 40 combat, expect to get a visage and make bank and be set for life. You know, it doesn't work like that. And realistically, you're not going to start to see any sort of proper money gains until you're at least 70, maybe 60 plus Slayer. It depends what you class as a lot. But yeah, I mean, Aberrant Spectres drop hubs and stuff, which could be kind of beneficial for you guys, but I mean, for me personally, it doesn't get properly worth it until at least 85 plus. And onto my final negative for Slayer. If you don't slay, then you're not going to get that sexy cape someday. You know, I mean, it is a pretty sexy cape, let's not lie. Image will be on the screen right now if you've been living under the rock for the past 10 years or so. But yeah, it's a really awesome cape, and one day I do hope to achieve this cape. It would be awesome, and I hope you guys are strongly behind me with that, and I wish you all the best as well if you are also planning to go for this cape. So I'm going to end this commentary here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see a part 2 where I kind of talk about the pros and cons of mealing, I don't know whether it's necessary, so I'd like to hear you guys' feedback on that, as I don't know whether I've covered every single point in this commentary, but I've covered the points which actually initially came to my head. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.